Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating financial parable from a grandfather, and honestly, it completely flips the script on the oldest piece of money advice in the book. We're going to uncover why conventional wisdom might actually be holding you back.
Never save money. Hearing a grandfather give that exact advice to his grandson is kind of a shock to the system, right? I mean, we're practically hardwired from childhood to believe we've got to save every single penny for a rainy day. But the core lesson we're unpacking today is why this grandfather smiled and told his grandson, you shouldn't just save cash, you have to make it grow. And to figure out exactly why he said that, well, we have to look back at his life's journey.
You see, this grandfather didn't start out as some wise financial guru. Actually, quite the opposite. For years, he was known around his village as the resident dreamer. He'd just sit under a massive tree, staring up at the sky, dreaming of opening a shop or buying cows, but doing absolutely nothing about it. Months went by, and he basically ignored his family's lack of food, relying entirely on his hard-working wife. But then, one night changed the whole shebang. He looked down and realized his barefoot, thin grandson was starving. That painful realization snapped him right into reality. He immediately became a field laborer, working long, brutal hours under a blazing sun. His back hurt, his feet burned, his hands got rough. He earned very little, but every single week, he started hiding a few coins in a glass jar.
0. That was exactly the amount of bread or rice left in the cupboard when his little grandson quietly asked for food that pivotal night. Just 0. Seeing that entirely empty cupboard was the intense emotional turning point that forced him to stop dreaming and start working. It proved, in literally the harshest way possible, that beautiful dreams alone do not feed a family.
So he's working incredibly hard now, but he quickly realizes money comes and goes, while the bills and the problems, yeah, they stay. Then he hears some men at the village store loudly declaring, the secret is saving money. When you save, you are safe. So this prompts him to find a glass jar to hide his coins in, right under his bed. Every little clink of a coin hitting that glass gave him hope. When his grandson found it, the grandfather smiled and proudly called that jar their tomorrow.
But buying that so-called safety came at an incredibly high cost. This phase was a heavy, slow struggle for the family. To actually put those coins in the jar, he made unbelievably painful sacrifices. I mean, he wore old shoes with holes right through them. He didn't buy any new clothes. The family ate significantly less food, to the point where sometimes their plates were almost entirely empty. And despite his wife asking what the use of money even was if they were literally starving, he kept saving. When that jar finally became full after months of struggle, he felt extremely proud. He felt safe. He felt ready for absolutely whatever the future held. And this brilliantly illustrates the catch. He took his full, heavy jar to the market, feeling completely triumphant. He expected to proudly place that jar on the table and buy 3 whole sacks of corn. But reality hit, and it hit hard. The shopkeeper just shook his head. Prices had surged, and his hard-earned jar of coins could now only buy 1.5 sacks. His purchasing power was literally cut in half. Nowhere around it.
So what exactly happened here? Well, he ran headfirst into an invisible economic enemy, inflation. While his money sat safely under a bed, it was secretly losing value over time. That caused prices to get expensive and his saved cash to buy much less. The old man was totally shocked. He realized that just having money coming in and going directly into a jar couldn't fix their problems, because this brutal economic reality meant life was still hard and heavy.
The situation felt completely bleak all over again. But one evening, sitting quietly outside, he watched his neighbors walking by. One had eggs, another had milk. They looked peaceful, not worried or afraid of the future. And that sparked a tiny but incredibly powerful idea in the old man's mind. Ideas are seeds. Instead of waiting for someday, this time he decided to take immediate action and plant that seed.
Let's move on and see how this builds, because this sparked a brilliant, surprisingly simple financial blueprint. First, he used that devalued money to buy a few thin chickens. Soon enough, as his grandson laughed and called it, their new egg factory started producing. They collected eggs, ate some, and sold the rest. Then he took the money from selling those eggs and reinvested it to buy another chicken, and then another. He sat back and watched the chickens and the money slowly grow, creating this powerful flywheel of compounding wealth right in his own backyard.
He didn't just let this run on autopilot, though. He treated it like a real business, keeping meticulous notes in a small book to count every single coin earned and record every egg sold. He tracked his growing operation closely. Soon, neighbors started coming directly to him to buy eggs. The house filled with hope.
And for the first time in his life, he smiled more and felt genuine pride, because he wasn't just surviving anymore, he was actively working to build his own future.
Which brings us to a really profound realization. Holding an egg in his hand, he told his grandson, "This egg is more powerful than a jar of money." He explained that money can simply finish, or as we saw with inflation, it can lose value over time. But if you use money the right way, by investing it into something productive, it grows like life. It actively creates more value.
So the crucial point is, it all comes down to this fundamental difference. Merely saving money is kind of like holding water in your bare hands. No matter how tight your grip is, it slowly slips away due to inflation and rising costs. Investing money, on the other hand, is using your money to build something, even something small, so it becomes bigger and stronger over time.
Which leaves us with the ultimate takeaway to apply to your own life. Are you just holding water, or are you building your egg factory? Even a small start can entirely change your trajectory. Think about your own financial habits. Are you letting your hard-earned money slip through your fingers in a glass jar under the bed, or are you planting seeds to make it grow? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this sparks some powerful ideas for your own future.